Recording in progress.
All right, good evening, everybody. We're here for 3 public hearings tonight, and I'd like to start off the first public hearing with rising to salute the flag. Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, so our first public hearing of the evening was posted for Monday, January 16th, 2023 at 6 p.m. at the Newton Town Hall at 2 Town Hall Road, and available via Zoom video conferencing. The Board of Selectmen will be holding 2 public hearings beginning at 6 p.m. on January 16th, which we were allowed for budgetary purposes. We could post these 2 public hearings adjacent to each other, basically. So once we finish with one, we can open that one. Just for planning purposes, the SB2 part of the public hearing, so at 7 p.m., the public hearing on the budget and warrant articles, we will not be able to start that until 7 p.m. because that is how it was posted. So we might have a little break in the action here, so just so you're aware. So the first public hearing we're going to do is to take public input to accept and expend a one-time reimbursement payment in the amount of $11,707.40 by the state of New Hampshire according to HB 1221. This amount equals 7.5% of the New Hampshire Retirement System employer contribution costs for Group 1 teachers and Group 2 police and firefighters in state fiscal year 2023. These funds have been reported as revenue on the town's MS 434. As part of the tax rate certification process, funds will remain in the general fund. So I think in a nutshell, unless somebody wants to correct me, this was kind of an overpay situation, and we're getting a reimbursement. If you think of our town, it's really just the police officers in this group that they talked about, Group 2 police officers and firefighters. So it's for the police officers, and the amount was it 76? Diane, was that? We have the amount, right? Because it was part of the MS 434.
Yeah, hold on. It was 11,000 something?
Oh, I'm sorry.
11,707.40.
That was a different one I was thinking of.
Yeah.
So it is attached. So $11,707.40 was
No,
40 cents.
$707.40.
40 cents. Thank
Right.
you. We're receiving that, so we have to have a public hearing per the law in order to accept this. And at this point, part of the public hearing is any public comment on this. Opportunity for anyone, whether on the Zoom or in the room. Anyone going once, going twice. These are easy when the money's coming in. Exactly, it's coming in the right direction. So seeing as there is no comment, I would entertain any motions.
So the motion would be something on the line of to accept and expend the one-time reimbursement payment of the amount of $11,707.40 by the state of New Hampshire according to House Bill 1221.
So moved.
I thought so.
Second.
Moved by Charlie, seconded by Bob. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So, and we just had 3 of us so far, right?
Yeah.
Moving along, the other one
Okay,
posted.
so now you need to close out this one?
Yeah, this is true. Sorry about that.
Okay.
So with that, I'm going to close the public hearing in regard to this HB 1221 reimbursement. And we're going to close this public meeting. I have 6:04 PM. And now I'm going to open a new public hearing at 6:05 PM. To take, should we do the pledge again? No, I'm just joking.
No.
To take public input to accept and expend a one-time bridge payment in the amount of, this is the one I was thinking of, $71,108.06 from the New Hampshire Department of Transportation in accordance to Senate Bill 401. These funds can only be used for maintenance, construction, or reconstruction, of municipally owned bridges. The funds will be placed in the Highway Construction Revolving Fund. So this is exactly what it says, right? So we're getting money from the state of New Hampshire. In accordance with that bill, it would be, should the motion be successful tonight, it would be placed in the Highway Construction Revolving Fund with limited usage. And I don't know if the road agent, do you want to say anything on this subject? So any public input, any questions, anything like that? We get these things every now and again, and it's always good, like we said, when the money's coming into town. Okay, seeing that there is no comment, I will entertain a motion for this one.
If you would be so kind, please.
Yes. So your motion would be something on the lines of to accept and expend a one-time bridge payment in the amount of $71,108.06 from the New Hampshire Department of Transportation in accordance to Senate Bill 401. And the funds can only be used for maintenance, construction, or reconstruction of municipally owned bridges. And you're going to put the funds in the Highway Construction Revolving Fund.
So moved.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, so seeing that, I'm going to now close the public hearing on this one at 6:07 PM. Typically, as I said earlier, we schedule these public hearings, we have no idea how long they would go, right? Somebody could come in and could want to talk for 35, 40 minutes about one of these. So we have to be careful of that. And they're all under the law posted in the newspaper, firm times and all that good stuff. So we're going to close these public hearings, and then at 7 PM sharp, we'll open our next public hearing as posted for the budget and the warrant articles. So goodbye for now, but in about
No, so now you're going to go to your regular meeting.
yeah,
Pardon me?
okay, so we have an agenda for the regular meeting?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, you have it
All
there.
right, I was not aware of that.
Yeah.
Public hearing's over?
Do you need the
Just-
agenda?
No, if it's on here, I have it.
Okay. So you don't have to do A because you didn't have any non-public.
Okay.
And under A, seal the non-public minutes?
Right, you didn't have any, so you don't need to do A. So first you have
Right.
to open up the meeting anyways.
Okay, we'll get something from Trish on the opera.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
we haven't opened the meeting yet,
Yeah.
Charlie. All right,
Oh.
so we're opening the regularly scheduled meeting as posted. This is at 6:08 PM. It's called to order. We did not have a non-public session, so we are going to go with item A, which is ARPA, right?
No, that's B.
Or B, yeah.
I'll take A or B, whatever. Okay. Okay, thank you. So obviously, our opera meetings have slowed down a little bit. For those of you in TV land, opera is the American Recovery Plan Act. We have a work group that gets together and takes suggestions from various departments to see what we can do with the money that we actually got, which was $515,400. So we've got multiple action items on our list that we're working on. I'll just remind you, you've heard about these in all your meetings. It's an action item because we're still working on it. We don't have money. We haven't committed to anything. I shouldn't say we don't have money. We have the money, but we haven't committed that money to these things. One of them is portable lighting to be used for town events and or for accidents. It could be used by any department. Chief Jewett was working on getting me figures for that. He didn't think it was going to be very expensive. He thought maybe $3,000, but I don't have anything concrete yet. As you know, we've been working on the construction trailer for the transfer station. That's actively being worked on, and Municipal Institute, actually, Catherine Heck, is going to be assisting with some potential ways we can do what we want to do with that construction trailer. The Community Relations website, you remember, I brought this to you from Mr. Guilfoyle, and we kind of put it on the back burner. And we've been in touch with him, and he did come back to us. And basically, we said, it's all about the money. And so he came back, and he discounted it another $2,000. So I'm going to send you his proposal. We just recently got that, so that you can look at it. It still is on our list. We haven't said goodbye to him yet. So I'll send that to you so you guys can look at it. So I just got a request from the library for a new furnace. Evidently, they said on their email, they noticed the Butler Building got a furnace, and they said theirs is 40 years old and they'd like a furnace. The committee has not talked about this, but I did respond and say the Butler Building got a waste oil heating unit, which is a little different ballgame than a furnace. And they're burning the waste oil from the transfer station. So kind of it's not apples and oranges, completely different, but we'll talk about that at our next meeting. And the last thing, DES did approve the engineering that was submitted for the transfer station potential septic. So we're kind of in a holding pattern for that. So those are our action items. And then the EOC update. I don't have to tell you, COVID numbers are climbing. In the last 14 days in Newton, we've had 20 cases. So it's kind of leaping and bounding now in double digits. If you're not feeling well, and I speak for everyone at Town Hall, don't come here. Stay home. Do your business online. We don't need anybody sick, and we certainly don't need it to go through the Town Hall or any of our town buildings for that matter. Also, the EOC has ordered test kits, and with the help of the fire chief, he actually was able to pick mine up. So we do have some test kits if you need. We don't have an unlimited number, so we can't supply everyone in town. But if you need a test kit, please contact me at the EOC, and that's 382-1610, and I'll help you however I can. Excuse me, that's asthma, not COVID. I have to keep telling people I test regularly. The last thing is Homeland Security. So FEMA has asked the EOC now to gather information from that Christmas weekend storm that we had. So now what they're trying to do, usually when we have a weather-related event, FEMA comes back and to all the towns, and they base it by town and then county. And what they now want is a damage assessment. They want an analysis. What did it cost us to, the trees down for whatever we had to do? Did we have any damage to vehicles? So we have to pull all that together, send it back to them, and then they pool it according to county. So if the counties meet a threshold, like we might find out that Rockingham County might meet the threshold, but maybe, Coles County won't. So we aren't going to know if we actually are going to get reimbursed, but we're actively working on that. I'm working with the road agent, the fire chief, the police chief, and we'll pull those things together. And really, that's it.
So quick question on the, if we were to pursue using ARPA money for the heater in the library, do we think that is covered by ARPA? the library would be covered?
It depends on the cost. It could end up being a capital improvement, which it kind of brings it into a different ballgame, kind of like the building that we were dealing with at the transfer station. But I'll check into it and see. I don't know what it would cost. It's an old building. Does it, because it's old, it's multi-storied. I don't know how much it costs for something like that. I know what it is in a house, but not in a commercial space. So we'll get those figures, and then we'll see if it makes sense, and then we'll bring it back to you and see what you think, and to the library trustees, obviously.
Cool, and then the only other thing I would add is in terms of the, the quote about PR and the websites and stuff like that, I think what I would be in favor of is some sort of service that could look at our existing websites and kind of give us a quote on how we could update them to be more modernized, more user-friendly.
Diane and I did talk about that, actually.
Because the piece of it I personally am not in favor of is the monthly payments to have somebody at our disposal if we need them to do public relations.
Okay.
So I know there are a lot of companies out there that would come in and redesign
Sure.
the websites and perhaps even save us a little money if we, combine them all or something like that. So, if we found vendors out there that did that service, because it sounds like it's just a piece of what he does. But I'll just throw that out there. That's kind of where my head's at. I don't know what everybody else.
That's kind of what I was telling Trish
Right.
when I mentioned it to her, was about that big monthly
That's right.
goose egg. So,
And who
kinda-
knows, Civic, the posts now, when we got them years ago, we didn't spend a whole lot of money because we never have any money to spend. So it was whatever fit the financial picture that we could afford. So if we reach out and ask them, so are there different levels? Are there different stages? Can we have this? Can you do this? And who knows, maybe we can for short money.
Yeah, and there are tools out there which turn basically every, department member into a web designer. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Where
Yes.
where you could turn around and say, the recreation secretary. Sorry, Pat, for using your name while you're not. The recreation secretary could do all of her postings on the website.
Yes. Yep.
And, conservation or whatever. So.
Right.
Mike Conley just called into my phone.
Hi, Mike.
You there, Mike?
I am.
Did you want to try the Zoom number? Is that, you might,
I tried. All right, I'll try again.
because that might be a better audio for you.
Yeah,
So,
okay.
all right, thanks. Bye.
My quick question is about the furnace for the library. That's functioning all right now? There's no...
They didn't say, they just said it's old. I'm old, don't get rid of me.
Yeah, I'm just making sure that they got
Yes.
heat and whatever for right now, yeah.
They do.
Okay.
Yes, thank you. Okay, I think that's it.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, item C is Goodwin Road signage.
So basically what it is there, we had E911 notify us that we had a shared driveway in Newton, but the houses are in East Kingston, so they had two addresses. So they wanted us to combine to one. So basically, you agreed to that, and the owners have agreed to that. They chose the name of Goodwin Road. The thing that's before you now is who's going to pay for that initial sign. So I reached out to East Kingston, and I spoke with Mike Pravero. And we chatted, and East Kingston will split the cost with us, but we'll run with it. So Mike will run with it. He will get the new sign and install it, and they'll pay half of it. But what we want them to know is that it's a private road. This is a one-time. Anything happens to the sign, they are responsible for the rest of it, for any time after this. So the owners are here if they wanted to speak to this. You need to come to the microphone if you do, okay? And just state your name.
No pressure, but if you wanted to
Yeah.
add anything to the conversation.
Well, I'm not sure you can help or not. My name is Clark Sawyer. I am in one of those houses. We're just curious whether we will have two addresses, one for Newton and one for East
No,
Kingston.
that's the whole
still?
idea. You're only going to have one, and your letter told you which one you would have.
It didn't really clearly say whether it said, for me, 22 Goodwin Road. It didn't
East
clearly say
Kingston.
Newton or East Kingston.
Oh, sorry, it should have said East Kingston.
Okay, so,
You're both East Kingston.
okay.
East Kingston. I took what they told me to put and I just typed in. Correct, but it was a template type thing that they told me. So it's going to be East Kingston.
Okay.
I think moving costs would be very low, so
Yeah.
that's something favorable about
And I don't know whether this can be answered here or not, but we're wondering about implications to things like mortgages and stuff like that, and the physical address of the property, and who's going to answer those kind of questions, since we have a mortgage for 218 Havel Road, East Kingston.
Yeah, that's a good question.
You'd have to ask your mortgage company.
Right.
I mean, your legal address will be, what is it, 36 or 30, I forget?
Well, according 22.
Okay,
Goodwin
22
Road.
Goodwin Road, East Kingston.
Right,
So you're just going to change your address.
but I don't know whether the town, like whether we can just change it here with like the wave of a magic wand and then work it back through the deed and the mortgage and the legalities of that.
So you're asking about the registry of deeds and making it so that it's
Yeah,
all
I'm asking if,
legal and binding, correct? I
right,
see what you're saying.
so,
Unfortunately, I don't think we have the expertise
Yeah.
to tell you that. I do think the fact that this is all happening within New Hampshire is probably a better thing, you know what I mean? Like, God forbid you were on the Mass border and you'd, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I think speaking for the town, whatever they would need from us, we would probably have no problem providing you with that in terms of, a letter or something like that. But we just don't know, unfortunately, how much you would have to do on your end for all that stuff you're talking about. So
right.
we would certainly cooperate to the best of our ability with
What
whatever you
you're
would.
going to probably have to do is on your mortgage statement, when you get your mortgage statement, put the chain of address on it. You're going to have to do it on your credit cards and everything else
I
that you've got.
understand that. I'm just curious about the,
Registry of Deeds?
right,
you-
and,
Excuse me, can you just step up to the microphone so that
yeah.
people can hear you? Thank you.
so I'm just curious about the implications of that. This is all going to take place on February 1st, according to the letter that we received, and I'm wondering if there's any due diligence we need to do on the ramifications of that.
Well, I think your town would tell, because of this situation, I think the town of East Kingston would notify the Registry of Deeds that there is a change and there's a new name for that road and new addresses.
Okay,
But I would definitely check on it with them.
Oh, yeah,
They-
definitely.
And their legal counsel should be able to tell you
okay,
what's going on. If you would have to go to the Registry of Deeds with a certified paper probably from East Kingston Town Hall, present it to them, and then they would be able to take care of it.
okay.
Yeah, it's a new one for us, but I'm sure
Yeah.
the mortgage
We,
company has seen it
and we
before.
only say that, you're standing here with us, but because the address is legally in East Kingston now, that you would want to go to them.
Right.
So it
And-
says in your letter, just so you know, your letter says that file a change of address form with the New Hampshire Department of Motor Vehicles, which can be found online. Update all your utilities and debtors, banks, credit cards, company, etc. of your address change. You do not need to make any changes to your deed until your property is sold or transferred.
Correct.
Okay,
Oh, there you go.
okay.
All right.
All right,
Excellent.
thanks.
Thank you. Trish?
So this may help. I helped somebody with the same type of thing with my real estate hat on, just so that you know. And what we did was we contacted the mortgage company and said, in our case, it was because of renumbering, because of 911. And so we took the letter from the town, which in this case could be, I imagine, from East Kingston. We sent that to the mortgage company. The mortgage company gave it to their legal department. Your deed, usually a deed does not have a specific address. The legal description of property is a book and page, map and block and lot. But what happened in this case, legal counsel for the mortgage company got involved, and they were able to change everything on their end. And again, until you sell it, you don't, at that time, legal counsel would come in and say, here's these letters we got. It was a change due to numbering of the town. And so the new address would go to the new people. But do everything else, DMV, the utilities, and make sure your letter says formerly known as whatever that address was.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, get her card before you leave. so. Joe Simone.
Good evening, folks.
Good evening.
I take it this is under other business?
Oh, not yet, but stay right where you are. So we'll leave that one and we'll go indeed to other business. Go ahead.
Excellent. I'm standing up here for probably the third time, and I'm going to be a little redundant, ask the same question. But in the interest of transparency from the board to the residents and the taxpayers, I'd like to know what the plan is moving forward to fill the vacancies that are currently before us. This is a very important time of the year for us, where budgets and monies and all that stuff gets straightened out. There's a lot that needs to get done. I'd like to know what the solution is, and I'd like not to have the problem kicked to the left or the right, but I'd like an answer so the people can be aware of what's going on. I'd also like to know how much money we're paying MRI. Where is the money coming from? Is there any recourse for us to get any of the money back if we need to? Just a bunch of questions. Next thing I'd like to know is, once again, where do we stand with the Larry Foote situation? I think the residents should have some type of an idea what's going on. And that's all I have for tonight. Thank you.
Excellent. So there's a lot to unpack there. First one is, I guess the question was open positions, and you're probably referring to the bookkeeper and the BOS secretary, right? I can't see Joe there, so.
And also understand that we have a new town administrator as well.
Okay, so let's start with the bookkeeper. The bookkeeper, the update is the same as last time. We're working with MRI to get qualified resumes. Haven't gotten an update from them recently, other than the fact that there's not a lot of people available out there with the qualifications we're looking for. I happen to think, other people can jump in there, I've said it before, I happen to think municipal budget experience is going to be an absolute must with that position. Second one is BOS secretary. We have several resumes. We're looking to schedule interviews very shortly. Third one, I think you just said, was current town administrator has requested to take some time off for health reasons. I'll leave it there. Anybody else want to jump in here?
Well, we could introduce the interim town administrator right now to the public,
could, yeah.
who's stepping in. James, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, if you want, yeah, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. My name is Jim O'Mara. I'm here to help you. I'm coming from MRI. I have a number of years' experience, and I hope it works out. There's a lot of work to be done.
Thank you.
Thank you and welcome.
Jim is about 20 minutes in the door at this point, so.
And part of your question about the pay, so obviously it's coming from the salaries, from the positions that aren't filled right now. So it's not like we're spending extra money to pay these people. So it's coming out of the line items.
What about the money we're paying MRI? How much we pay these folks so far for the past 6 months and whatever?
I don't have the exact numbers available.
Get that number so we can share it with the public at some point?
We can certainly do that. Also, I would just add to that this is not the situation we wanted, right? This is, I think, everybody in this room, watching on TV or whatever, attrition is a real issue in everybody's job. I know it is in my job. So attrition is being fought by employers all over the place. And sometimes the solutions or the stopgap solutions to attrition are not exactly the ones you want to make, but you have to do something because you can't leave the positions open. Nor would I feel comfortable with filling a position with somebody who isn't ready to do the job just because we want to put somebody in there. So, but absolutely what Joe says is we could put that summary out there, at least year to date. So, anything else from the board members?
No, just the fact that we have some resumes that we're going to be looking at starting very shortly to fill Diane's position. So we did get a handful of them. We're going to be looking at them, bringing some people in, putting the committee together to do the first interview, like we did with the town administrator, and then go through that process. And then we're going to try to fill these spots. And I will reiterate what Matt said, that we're not willing to just throw somebody in these positions to put a warm body in the seat. We're looking for somebody that's got qualifications that can fulfill our needs and our wants so that we don't have to keep going back looking for people. And you can go anywhere you want and you can look up, but to get people on a permanent basis, they're not out there. And if you look it up, there's a bunch of other towns up here in New Hampshire that are looking for the same people to fill those spots. So it is what it is, and we're doing the best that we can with what we've got right now.
And don't lose sight of the fact we're a border town to Massachusetts, so we also fight with municipalities in Massachusetts for the same people. Was there another one in there that we missed? Another question? Yeah.
Like an update of the Larry Food situation. I think the town, it's gone long enough to come to the answer.
Yeah. I have no comment. Anybody have any comment?
I have no comment.
Matt, whoever was speaking, could you have him go to the microphone?
Yeah. Mike, he just asked if there was an update on the Larry Foote situation.
Thank you.
Thanks. Anybody, anything else? Jill? Anybody?
I have something else, not about this, though.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Okay.
I guess we're going to leave that topic. So.
Under other business, I wasn't sure if I could jump in, but I think we're killing time here. So this is kind of a sad note. You know that Hidden Acres on 42 Thornell Road is actually the first historic preservation easement that has ever been done in New Hampshire. And so we are setting groundwork for everyone else that wants to do one. And I thought that you should know on New Year's Day, one of those landowners died. So I'll be talking to you about it since you're on our committee. We are helping as much as we can if the lady needs help, but I just wanted everyone to know it's a wonderful, wonderful historic preservation easement, and it's kind of sad.
Yeah, it is. Sorry to hear that. Anything else for other business?
So we have a hand raised by Anthony.
Anthony? Go ahead, Anthony, on Zoom.
And state your name.
Yeah, Anthony Levin, up on Markby Road.
Hi, how are you?
Great. I'd like to have the board address the issues that are ongoing up in Markby Road. Not this storm today, but the previous one 4 days ago. there was no treatment of the road. The truck literally turned around at the road. There were accidents, one major accident that had to be responded to by police and fire. And we'd like to know, after all of the discussion that's happened regarding the condition of the road and everything else, why is this neighborhood being untreated, unplowed, unmaintained suddenly by the road agent?
I guess all I would say to that is, that doesn't sound right to me. I'm not to say that I don't believe what you're saying to me, but if you were to send us an email with the details, you're grabbing us cold with this right now. We could certainly look into it, but like I said, it doesn't seem right to me, given all the vehicles I saw in force out there. Anybody else have any comment on this? So yeah, if you could give us some more detail, probably email is the best. We can follow up.
Okay, yeah, I have pictures of the ice and the fact that it was untreated, and compared to today where there were trucks. I also have 24/7 surveillance with vehicle detection, and there were no town trucks up here.
Okay. Go ahead.
Is that something, how much of this would you like me to provide?
Just give us the high-level details at this point, I think.
Okay.
Thank you. All right, anything else? Always dangerous when we have open time slots. So if there's nothing else, we do have some minutes to approve if anybody wants to do those.
And you have some manifests.
We have manifests as well,
first.
yep. Why don't we do the manifest first?
Want me to do it, Matt?
Yeah, if you don't mind, Charlie.
Move to sign a vendor manifest dated January 16th, 2023, in the amount of $71,059.83, of which $5,390.55 comes from the ARPA funds for the Moakley air filters for the town hall and library.
Second.
All right, and since we have Mike online, I have to do the roll call vote. Charlie?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
Matt's and I.
Move to sign the cable revolving fund dated January 16th, 2023, in the amount of $561.57.
Somebody want a second?
Second.
Seconded by Bob. Discussion? All right, roll call vote. Charlie?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
Matt's and I.
Move to sign the police special details revolving fund dated January 16th, 2023, in the amount of $3,173.51.
Second.
Okay, Charlie?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
And Matt's and I.
Move to sign the Uniform Fire Watch revolving fund dated January 16th, 2023, in the amount of $233.
Second.
Okay, roll call. Charlie?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
And Matt's and I.
Move to sign the payroll manifest for a pay period December 18th to the 31st, 2022, with a pay date of January 5th,
Wait a minute.
2023. Total payroll.
Hold on, Charlie. That would explain. I don't have a payroll for you yet. Let me just check here. I don't have a payroll. Sorry.
Yeah, it's the last bullet.
Yeah.
Yeah, so no, you don't have a payroll right now. So sorry, I forgot to remove that one. I was hoping to get it, but I didn't get it in
Okay.
time. So there's no payroll.
So
No payroll.
strike that?
Yeah.
Okay. While you're there, Charlie, did you want to do the minutes?
Yeah. Move to accept the non-public and public minutes dated January 3rd and January 13th, 2023, as written.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Roll call.
Roll call. Charlie?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
Matt's and I. All right, so anything else before we segue from the meeting to the next public hearing. So I will entertain a motion to adjourn the Board of Selectmen.
So moved.
Second.
Seconded by Bob. Roll call. Charlie?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
Matt's and I. So we will be back
It's
21 minutes.
Do we have any announcements?
I don't think we had any announcements.
Yeah, we do.
What's that?
The public hearing on Thursday.
Yeah, that's true. Why don't I, since we're kind of, oh, we're still live, Mike, so
Yeah.
there is a public hearing this Thursday. It's not a Board of Selectmen's public hearing, it's a DOT public hearing, but it'll be in this room. So everybody's invited to attend. Diane, are they having all the
Yes.
Zoom and stuff like
Yep.
that?
Yes,
Yep.
I will be here to run Zoom.
All right, so our people will be here, so you can certainly do it that way, but everybody should check it out, and that is for the Rose Corner
Intersection.
intersection.
And that was what, 7 o'clock, right?
7 o'clock on the 19th, right?
Yeah.
Was it
And,
7 or 6? Hang on.
And that is not run by us, so.
No.
Right,
If,
run by the DOT.
But
That's
we'll
commissioners.
attend, just like anybody else.
And us
So-
commissioners.
We will- Exactly. We,
6 p.m. It begins at 6
oh,
p.m.
good,
6
good.
p.m.
6 p.m., so don't show up late. So we'll be back in 20 minutes. We
Yep.
can go to our regularly scheduled
Right. He's
commercials
gonna-
on the cable
he'll-
channel.
yeah,
Yeah.
He'll pause it.
All right, thank you.
Recording stopped.